Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Serial Experiments Lain, episode 9. So, I did lower my mic volume a little bit. Actually, I did want to lower it a tiny bit more. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't hit the red, because I did notice every now and then my mic seems to be getting muffled a little. So I lowered it a bit more. Hopefully that will be enough. It's like barely touching the red every now and then, so hopefully now it won't. But hopefully it's still loud enough for you guys on YouTube. Hopefully you don't have to like crank the volume all the way up. If so, I might have to raise the volume in my editing software when I do that. We'll see. I'll just have to mess with it. But either way, I just wanted to let you guys know. So if you're wondering why things are a little quieter, it's like I'll try to fix it if it's a problem. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it. I added in a stronger noise filter, which is hopefully keeping a lot of the background noise that's been happening recently out, but I also notice that it's muffling my voice a little bit. But I think it might be muffling my voice because every now and then, my voice is going into the red on OBS when I'm seeing like uh the bars for when I'm talking. And I know you're like that's pretty much peaking, so you don't really want to be going into the red too much, and maybe that's why the filter's having a hard time with it. But we'll see. Anyway, sorry, enough ranting. Last episode was some crazy stuff. I was very confused for a large portion of the episode, but then towards the end of the episode, it actually helped like clear things up a little bit. I still don't understand everything about the Tachibana labs and all that stuff that they were talking about with oh, I'm not gonna remember all the terminology, am I? Like all the different like protocols and stuff like that they were speaking about. But you know, then we had the whole peeping Tom thing, and everyone staring at Lain, and it was weird, and I wasn't sure why, but apparently Lain is this entity that takes in information from people and all these rumors and gossip and just tells everyone. Like she takes in all these secrets that people have and just tells everyone about it. So everyone, I guess, was staring at her because they all knew that she was the one that uh like leaked the info about Arasu liking one of the teachers and stuff like that. So, but then she managed to do some like delete thing, and then everyone forgot about it, which led me down a whole rabbit hole of theories. You can go back to the last episode and hear those theories if you are in the discussion of the last episode if you want to hear them. But yeah, let's get started with this episode, shall we? Alrighty, we're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Excuse me. Alrighty. I'm ready for some more craziness, guys. I really wonder how much gets told because I know my friend was saying that like not much does. Or like there's still a lot like it's a lot of its interpretation, so it's like what do you take out of the story? What do you understand from what's being shown? So I don't expect there to be like a moment where it's like, ah yes, this is exactly what happened in all of these episodes, and like, you know, there's some anime that will do that in the last couple episodes. It'll go back through and it'll actually show you some scenes, almost like a recap episode, but talking over it, being like, yes, like back then when you saw this happen and that happen, it's like all of it is connected and this is how and this is why it all works. And it's like, I don't expect to get anything like that, right? I expect to see craziness all the way up until the final episode, and whatever I make of it is what I come out of it with, and then, you know, I can go Google what other people think after. All right. Wonder if there's significance to this beginning scene. Like, I wonder if you went back and watched all of those, if it would make more, if a lot of them would make more sense or tie in, or whoa, whoa, what is this? Oh, the grainy. It hurts my eyes. Is this a desert or is this Mars? Nope, that's the desert. Hmm. All right, strange craft in New Mexico. Lain still pouting from the revelations. So crazy how her room is just filled with water all the time. I hate that. Oh my god, it's a gray. It's an alien. Oh my god, it really is. I kind of thought it might have been because of the silhouette. What is happening already? Are we starting that already? Me saying what is happening? Just gonna let that go, Lain. Oh shit. We're getting more of this. We going into alien stuff? Hmm. What? Hmm. Wonder how much of this is real that they're talking about. I don't know a lot about that kind of stuff, so. Ugh. Just back in it. Hmm. Oh, that makes sense. Interesting. Hmm. Jeez, we're just going in this, huh? Yep. Hmm. Interesting. Lain, what are you doing here? I wonder what it is. Must have been the other Lain, right? Some kind of chip. Alright, has that symbol on it again. I've always been interested in trying, like, sensory deprivation. Okay. It would make sense that someone who wants to try to communicate with aliens eventually would try to communicate with other things that are intelligent on our planet that are able to communicate with each other that we don't understand currently. Gonna try to get more information on that chip. Hmm. Yeah, he wants the other lane. He likes the crazy girls. Oh shit. She got the crazy eyes. Well, showing her the room. Hmm. Nope, I guess he does. Oh shit. Wait, what? Oh shit. She found a knight. One of the knights. A knight. Hmm. Interesting. Huh. That gives me another theory. Sister is still being crazy. What? I have no idea, guys. I don't know what that's about. I have a theory about something that Lain said, obviously, about manipulating memories and stuff. It's curious. Hmm. Oh shit. Hmm. What is the only truth? Yeah. Hmm. So he's a fake? Or a wannabe? You said a lot of things without saying anything at all. Alright. Ugh. Gross. Hmm. Interesting. Alright. They're giving us all kinds of weird facts. Where are we now? Oh, okay. She got brought to the family. So it seems like she was adopted based off this, assuming any of this is real. It's really interesting because it's like a lot of the scenes with the parents do remind me of like shit. It's like lacking so much of like the personal, like it always jumps from like it does feel like a robot quietly doing like a parent's job kind of thing, but not doing any like the communicating with the kid. I don't know. I'm not saying that they're robots or anything. I'm just saying like there's just something about it. Like we're always jumping around. The parents are always like checking in but never saying anything, never scolding, never praising. Like they're just kind of there. Hmm. Turn the earth into a brain. You know, it's a crazy concept, but reminds me of a few things that are like kind of like neat. Nothing to this extreme, but that have been done. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Huh. Okay. Is this the guy? Longer hair, but is that supposed to be him? Oh shit! Wow, the episode's already over. Goddamn. All right. Well, once again, another crazy episode. Jesus. And a lot of the stuff leading up to what we saw, I don't fully understand, right? A lot of the stuff about what it seems like it might be real people and real things that existed. I don't know for sure. I don't know enough about history and the stuff they were talking about here to know if all that stuff was real or not. But either way, um obviously I think there's a towards the end of the episode it started to become not as real, like when it started talking about the guy who took his own initiative to like do this neural link process with everyone kind of thing. I don't think that is something that happened in our world. I think that's where it like bent the line into the anime story kind of thing. But but that last bit I felt like I followed the most, at least in like, of what it ties in. Like I don't know what the alien stuff ties in, and the guy who, like, Wyatt told us the information about the guy who, started multimedia before computers even existed, that kind of thing. I'm not quite sure on all of that, like what significance it had and everything. I'm sure it probably had a significance, right? I'm just not smart enough to know. But that last bit, obviously, talking about neurally connecting everyone without any kind of technology on the, like that they carry with them. But that is it, guys, for episode 9. So yeah, like obviously, if that did take place, if what that guy did try to enact did happen, and everyone is on some level neurally linked, then that would explain why they're able to like delete memories and stuff like that from everyone, because everyone has this bit of like connection and everything. So that's pretty crazy. And then we had the mention of uh what's it called? Lain was mentioning like manipulating memories and saying she is the only one in the real world. There is no other one. So the idea that there's another Lain out there, what I think they were trying to say there is someone manipulated the memories of everyone that was in that bar to remember seeing Lain there, even though it didn't happen. And that's probably why everyone was so confused, where they're like, it might be her, it might not be, because it might not be a perfect science to be able to manipulate the memories, right? Um, and stuff like that. So it's certainly an interesting concept of, there was never a second Lain. It's always just been in the real world, it's always just been this Lain, but people's memories have been manipulated. And it really makes me wonder of like how much else crazy stuff in the show has happened that could just be like the memory manipulation and stuff like that. Um but I'm still caught up by the idea that, well, I guess that could be memory manipulation too, right? Like, everyone's saying that Lain has been there since the start of The Wired. Maybe she hasn't been, right? But it still seems like Lain existed before Lain really got into, like, messing with computers and The Wired and everything, right? Like, in episode 1, right? It seemed like Lain of The Wired might have already existed, but maybe that was just people. Maybe, like, someone somehow knew that Lain had the brainwaves and the mind to be able to, like, really control the Wired, but she wasn't taking advantage of her ability. So what someone did was they manipulated memories to start making these rumors about another Lain and stuff like that, which kind of drove Lain into being more curious, right, about the Wired and got her into it. So maybe it was like, maybe all that was like a manipulation just to get Lain into the position that she's in right now. And maybe, my whole theory about there being a Lain that existed before the real world Lain and being confused as to how that could work. And it led me down this whole rabbit hole of like, well, maybe the world that Lain, our current Lain in, is fake. Maybe it's like a Matrix situation, right? Um, and so it's like, I don't know. And like I still think that maybe could be possible, but it's also possible that there's just been a bunch of memory manipulation going on, and it's as simple as that, right? And that's why everything seems like screwy, and things are getting like mix and matched, and maybe like it's not as easy to, maybe like some people like realize that, like same with like the whispering that you'd hear and stuff like that, it could all be tied into like the neural linking and stuff like that. Like I think in the beginning some of the people that killed themselves to like go into the Wired or whatever that was, they were being like whispered to. That could be that neural link that they just talked about this episode of like someone communicating them and orchestrating things behind the scenes. I don't know, but It's definitely just a theory. So, but at least I feel happy having kind of another theory other than the one that I came up with before, because I felt like I was so fixated on that last theory that I couldn't come up with anything else. And now having something else to fall back on, now I have kind of like two, and I feel like I'm able to broaden my thought process for the show, and where it's going, and what's happening essentially, right? So I'm not even like worried about where it's going, right? Like I'm not even really thinking about. It's crazy because a lot of the shows that I do, I'm always thinking about like, okay, what do I think is going to happen next, right? Because that's like a big part of the shows is, build up for a finale kind of thing. But that's like how shows are designed. But I'm not even really, and even this one is designed a little bit like that. Like seeing this guy at the end of the episode, I'm not even really worried about what's up with him and what he's going to bring to the table, because I'm so focused on what's going on and understanding like the current situation that I'm not even like, oh, what's gonna happen next, right? I'm not worried about it because there's so much to unpack. But yeah, definitely some fascinating stuff. I'm always like really interested in the whole like like the strange craft landing in New Mexico that we, at least at the time of the show being made, there was like not a lot of information on it. And I do like hearing about like these guys who trying to create this technology, like the one guy that wanted to create like a satellite that to create a satellite that could store all the information that then could be accessed by like any terminal kind of thing, is interesting. And I mean, in a way, that's kind of what's happened with our cell phones, right? Like we have a portable, like we have a portable device on us that we can access the internet, which has pretty much all the information we could ever want within it. And so like that guy's dream has kind of become a reality. Now, it's not really necessarily stored on satellites in space, so if there were something to happen to our planet, although we have sent information out into space, right, to preserve bits of humanity and stuff like that, but but yeah, it's possible we could lose some. But yeah, like it probably is like a little bit different, but it's just I like the comparison and to think about how like people way back then were coming up with these ideas and theories that technology wasn't ready for, but then seeing the future, or us knowing the future now, uh, it's just really interesting and fascinating. So, but uh, but yeah. I was talking about the family stuff a little bit, and I wanted to touch on that again because one thing about like her getting adopted into that family and seeing them just go straight to showing the room, like it showed her be walked in and then they went straight to the room. It's just I don't know if I'm still not 100% sure on that's the show just cutting out the middleman of like, okay, you don't need to see, because like normally you'd see them being very welcoming, talking to her, being very accepting, and then be like, oh, would you like to go see your room, and then take her to see the room. But we skip all of that, and that's what makes it feel weird, and like this whole family is fabricated and stuff like that, is because it's almost like the memories have been manipulated, right? Because when you think of memories, you don't have all those details. A lot of it is like glimpses of moments that happen, and that's almost what that family feels like. It's just glimpses of like, yeah, you're gonna remember walking through the front door, seeing the family standing there, and then it was even white all around it, like you can't remember all of those details, kind of thing. And then you're gonna be remembered like being brought to your room because that's where you spend a significant amount of your time, and then that's it. Like it almost feels like that'd be something that someone would plant, but they're not clever enough to plant all the little details that you may be able to remember. So they just have to plant like the basic info. So it's like if a lot of those memories are planted, then what is the truth, Um what really did happen, and when were those memories planted, right? Like were they planted at the time of her being brought to that family because for whatever reason this, and like whatever it, like if there is something controlling all of this, like a god or something like that, did it want Lain to be with this family so it manipulated memories to make her be a part of the family back then? Or was it just like last week when all of this started, that they manipulated the memories of the family, and maybe she really was born to them, and for whatever reason they manipulated the memories and made them all think they're adopted, made Lain forget a lot of like the past things. Like that one dude was asking her like, what about birthdays and different family events and stuff like that, and she couldn't remember any and stuff like that. Is that because she was given false memories, or is that because she was forced to forget memories that she did have? It's like it could go either way. So it's pretty crazy, guys. But I'm just, once again, I say this every episode, I'm really looking forward to seeing the last four and seeing where we go from it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon, so you can see 2 episodes ahead of time right now. Keep an eye out for the poll. In a couple weeks, there will probably be a poll starting to replace this show. We'll see. I gotta see if any of my other shows are ending soon. Maybe I'll do kind of like I did with this one. Like originally, Parasite won the poll, or no, that's right. It was no, sorry. Parasite and Serial Experiments Lain tied in the poll, and I was trying to figure out how to fit both, but I replaced one show with Parasite, and then a few weeks later, another show ended, and I decided instead of doing another poll, I did Lain. So, so maybe I could do the same thing again, but I don't know that any of my other shows are ending soon enough to do that. But either way, couple weeks will probably be a poll regardless. Maybe even multiple, because I think my live anime, like the one I watch while it airs, Bleach is what I'm watching right now, might be coming to an end, and I got to see if there's any sequels. If there's any sequels, I'll probably jump right into those. But if there's no sequels, then I might be doing a poll for that too. So keep an eye out for polls anyway. Regardless, those will be linked on my Patreon. I usually do a video talking about them, so just keep an eye out if you want to vote and contribute to what I watch next. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my future reactions. Bye bye.